Lovely to make your acquaintance.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome to Let's Do Lunch. So I believe we're going to be kind of walking around and shadowing you for the day as a behavioral analyst, right? You must encounter a lot of interesting things on a daily basis.
I do, yes, I do.
So being a behavioral analyst, you walk around malls and judge people's children, don't
Absolutely.
you? Yes, you do.
Absolutely.
Tell the truth.
Judge children? No.
Yeah, like, ooh, that's...
I'm aware of children because I work with children, so I'm very much aware of children. Whenever I'm around kids, I'm just aware, and I pick up on some things naturally. Sometimes I can't help it. Sometimes I also want to just be like, oh, so wonder, but no judging. I don't judge.
What would you say then is the most difficult thing about doing what you do?
The most difficult thing? Geez, I guess then, to be honest, it feels so... I think I've been doing it for so long, so it feels... there are definitely challenges, but I've...
11 years you were saying, right?
Yeah, so I found ways to work around them, right? But I think the most challenging thing is when you do meet stumbling blocks, you know what I mean? Because we have a plan, we have a way and strategy and steps to reaching our goals, And not that it's not flexible or anything, but sometimes we have to come back and revisit, and we have to look at things and take a different route than what you had initially planned. And sometimes it's like, it's like there's room for like, maybe this won't work, So when I sort of reach those parts of my work, then it feels a bit challenging. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about lunch. Obviously, we're here to hijack a lunch session with you.
Yes.
Is that a good part of the day? Take a moment out, a little bit of a time out. Does it bring some joy to you?
It actually really does. It actually really does, because I have quite long work days. So my lunchtime is really my me time. It's just like those few moments where I'm just like, okay, time to nourish me, time to, focus on me. So yeah, my lunchtime is quite a big moment.
So you made chicken. And then you hid it in the car for me.
I did not hide it. I forgot it at home.
Who
As I
makes
mentioned
earlier,
earlier,
and forgets it at home?
me all the time, because I'm always late. So I'll just have it on my counter and just forget to grab it because I'm on the go. I'm on the run. Sometimes I just like let it go.
Really?
Sometimes
That's
I buy
healthy.
something.
Doesn't that mess with your focus, your train of thought and stuff? I usually can't think when I'm not well.
Not really. It messes with my weight. That's for sure.
You mentioned your weight a few times today. Is it something? Is it an
Have
area?
I? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Is it an area of concern for you or something?
I mean, I'm trying to. I've got some goals,
So, like you said, like the essence of being a child is being playful and all of that stuff. So we have things like blocks, right? And the great thing about some of the things that we use for our children is that something like blocks, for instance, it targets different skills. It gives opportunity to strengthen different areas of learning. So blocks is we'd use something like that for play skills, and as well as to address some of the executive functioning challenges that our kids have, like sustained attention. So you can imagine sitting and building Lego. It requires a bit of like your attention, So kids with attention deficits and challenges like that, so would use something like building blocks and allocate a time or anything of that to actually put a structure together, and that's how we would address something like that.
And where do you stand, ma'am, in as far as issues around medicine and medicating children who have attention deficit? Do you subscribe to that notion? Is it of importance? Is it necessary for a child to maybe go on Ritalin or Concerta, or would you encourage other methods to deal with a kid like that?
Okay, so every child and their challenges are different. Okay, so it all should be informed by a medical practitioner, obviously, when it comes to things like medicine. So there's a lot of moving pieces that would inform whether a child needs medication or not. Like I said, every child is different. If there is a need, depending on where your challenges lie, where you are with your challenges, because what happens is that if a child has challenges with behavior, ADHD, anything of the sort, it does significantly, for a great extent, impair their functioning for their daily lives. So if they are at a point or in a space where that is something that will help them in terms of overcoming that sort of impairment, then it's not something that I do not support. No. So the children that we work with, we do personalized intervention programs, right? So any aids that are involved with the children are very personalized. So it will depend on their needs. It will depend on their needs, the program, what we're working towards. So some of the things actually are communication devices.
Like, such as?
Like an iPad, literally
Okay,
an iPad will have a, what do you call that thing? We'll have an app, a specialized app on the iPad, and it helps the children communicate. So
And it must make things more relatable, I imagine, easier for a child to grasp.
Yeah.
And so now, how do you circumvent or deal with challenges? Maybe you have a kid that's perhaps not latching on to some of the things that you're trying to impart and teach. How do you cope with difficulties of not maybe getting through or being able to help?
Okay, so a lot of times we work collaboratively as well. So there are some things that if we perhaps are not able to touch, like you said, then we can collaborate with other specialists, such as speech therapists, occupational therapists, schools, and all of that. Anyone who can actually is in the field to sort of aid further in terms of the intervention. Then we collaborate with them and see what is it that they can bring in to the intervention program, and then we all work on it together. So that's what we do.
That sounds pretty, smart actually. It's a detailed approach.
Yeah.
So, in as far as the highs and lows of your job, what would you say is something you find rewarding?
Progress, success.
Watching someone latch on to something and get
with
it,
the development of the child. You can just never get enough of that feeling. Starting somewhere with a child and they have particular challenges, and then you start this program, and then you just see them progressing slowly but surely, and then reaching that goal. It's wonderful.
And then as far as the mechanics of this field, is it a male-dominated industry?
Actually, female.
Oh, really? That's amazing. That's cool. So, I mean, how does that feel to obviously be in an industry that's perhaps more suited to who you are? And what would you say to encourage anyone who might encounter this podcast to maybe venture into this field, much like you have?
It doesn't feel like a job most of the time. You know what I mean? And as much as I respect my work, my job, and I take it seriously, but like you say, because it's something that it's so close to my heart. It's something that it feels. There's a lot of things that it really is like a heart-centered. You give a lot of that aspect of yourself as well. That just doesn't feel like, oh my gosh. It's just naturally rewarding in itself because of the nature of the work. You know what I mean? So that for me is what I would say. Like if you have a heart for children, for people, for helping, then this is a space that you would potentially thrive in.
How many times a day do you send someone to timeout?
Not a lot, actually.
Really?
Not a lot. Currently, no. We actually don't. Timeout is quite an invasive intervention strategy.
I always thought timeout was the softer option. It's like spanking or timeout,
No, so we use different, like I said, I mentioned before, we use applied behavioral analysis. So we want to encourage and motivate and reinforce the children. We want to encourage them. So that particular principle shies away from things like timeout. Like I said, it's very, very personal and individual, the programs, So you might find that there are some children that such a strategy would be fitting for, but more times than not really.
So that is one of the reasons we established the Star Academy, and we work with children on the spectrum in a one-on-one setting, because we teach them functional skills to learn how to talk and to learn how to communicate. And the moms always say to me, Ilana, I can't buy diapers anymore. This child has to potty train, And all those things really are possible. The children who do get an autism diagnosis can learn. There is so much hope. There is so much treatment, there is so much help out there, and our education program at the Star Academy really focuses on each individual child, because every child is unique. We don't group them together in a classroom because no one child is missing exactly the same developmental skills. So we work with them very much in a one-on-one setting to catch up their unique developmental delays.